Okay, we're back again. Okay, we're gonna go at try to finish it up this time. Okay, I gotta get the spacer out, so I'm just gonna use a 1/2 inch stud here to beat my piece out that I need. Voila. Okay, that was quick and simple. Okay, I'm gonna blow 1/8 of an inch off of this. So we'll cut that down a little bit. What would that leave me? Where's my caliper at? Okay, this is a 400, 375. So that drops you down to 1/4 inch thick when we're done, if you take 1/8 off. So we need an 1/4 inch worth of material to look at for spacer. We got something there that's that thick. Kinds of washers around here. Looks like about 1/4 inch thick. 1/4 inch. Okay, so that's 1/4 inch thick. So let's put that against our fork down here and see what we got. See if we like what we see. Looks pretty damn good to me. So if we take our 1/4 inch, put the heim on top of it, not in the hole there, right there. Look at your clearance on your fork leg. It doesn't look like it's too bad. You could probably go a little bit more than that. Yeah, I would say you can probably go more than 1/4 inch. So I just went another 30 by doing that. Yeah, we can still go in pretty far. Probably just about run it all the way to there, maybe. I'm thinking we can drop it under that number pretty easy. What's our next number down? This one right here is probably about 3/16. See what that looks like. That looks pretty damn good to me. Looks pretty even. At least at the angle I'm looking at it does. It's hard to tell, but yeah, it looks pretty even. Okay, so I'm going to go down to a couple hundred thou. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is 190, so I think I'll make it 200 thousandths. I'm going to cut 175 off this sucker. Why'd you make it so long? It was a lot of work making it long, you know. Jeez. People around here, they work so hard. It's a good thing we get a lot of experience about trimming junk down that's made wrong. Okay, so we're at 375. I'm going to 200 at 175 off. That's what we're going to knock off that thing. One advantage is I made this so it shouldn't wobble around everywhere. Look at that. Looks like it's straight. Somebody knows what they're doing when they made this part. Look at that. Not too bad. Center hole's a little out. Not too bad on that. That'd be my chucks out of adjustment a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. That off. This over here. I'm gonna do 175 on this. So we're gonna put that in there and set it. What about like right in that area there will do it. Okay. Now we're just going to cut this down 175 thou right here. I need the camera to be held by itself. Alright, there's a view you can look at. As long as I got access to my tools in front of me here. Okay, so we're going to go in here like this. So we you do is you watch the indicator over here, which you can't see right now. There you go. So you watch the dial over here while you cut over here, see? One turn is 100. 150 right there. More. You're looking at dial down there, see? We're cutting. 50. 100. 50. So we're taking 175 off, so that way to go yet. Now we just look at the cut over there. We don't have to look at the numbers. Chips in the way. Take it all in one pass now. There's our 150 right there. We're going to 175 as I recall. Okay. Pretty looking. Okay, 175 is right there. Done. Deburr. This out of the way. File right here. Nice radius on there, I like that. There we go. One thinned up spacer. Should be at 200. Oh damn, I missed it by 199. Damn it. Oh, it's out around 2 over here. We didn't have it squared up in the chuck. We're 3 thou. Well, we're 3 thou when we measured on the chuck. See, 92, 210, 210. Yeah. It's good right there. Oh well. Crappy job of machining, let me tell you. We're 3.5 thou out there. Damn, that's all screwed up. We're looking for a new machinist. This machinist sucks, we need a new one. Oh well. Well, he made it wrong the first time too, that's what do you expect? Why would it be better the second time, right? Okay, before we put it on, let's make sure the bolt fits in there. There, close. Okay, so now I stick this over here. There, we'll have to pull that in. Okay. Alright, so this is the bolt we're going to use. Okay, first thing I do though, before we get much further, we got to tighten these nuts up, because I don't think we have access to do this later. So let's get that done right now. What size are these going to be? Yep, I was right, they're bigger. Probably 5/8, I'm guessing. Nope. That was 9/6. What wrench should I have out of here? They're 9/16 like this. Oh. I guess I grabbed a 1/2 inch. That's stupid. Why'd I do that? I know better. I'm going to put a little bit of torque on this thing. Okay. Now we want to tighten this up the same angle as the other one. Oh, these are 2 different nut sizes. Look at that. Stupid ass metric crap. Ugh. Keep getting hitting the butt over here on this thing. Okay, this is a left-handed nut. Left-handed nuts are made differently, obviously. Okay, we want to keep this straight, and you see how it's moving on me. So what we're going to have to do is hold this with something that's not going to let it rotate. That'd be called a crescent wrench. Just happen to have one of those right here. I probably should do is tighten up this one last over here. Yeah, that'd be a lot easier. I just broke this one free. We'll come back and I have access to this side, so we'll tighten this up last. Okay, so this one's pretty tight. We'll leave it on there. Okay, we've got our bolt going through here. We got our spacer down below down here. Yeah. That dumbass. Then you got room to work on it. Okay, so now we're way down here. So we're going to put a washer in here. It's a heat treated one because that has to cover up the 1/2 inch hole. We're using a 3/8 bolt, remember. I don't like using lock washers, but we're going to put a lock washer in it for safety. We're also going to put some Loctite on it. Do I want to use red? Yeah, I want to use red. I don't want this to fall off. If this link falls off, you're screwed. So. Come on. There you go. If he has to take this thing back apart, he'll have fun. Okay, so normally I don't like lock washers. I still don't, but I'll use this. Yeah, I didn't even want to go in there. Fine thread. Appears to be an interference fit too. Nice. Alright. Put my zip gun here. Banged again. Okay, 9/16 on the other side. Okay, that is now tight. Okay, now we go ahead and tighten up our hind joint. Okay, that's tight. When you tighten up a hind joint, you want to make sure when it's tight, you got room for the whole link to flex. So if this is tight in one way and this is tight in the other way, it won't rotate. You want to be able to have it free floating. See how it free floats? So what I did was, this one's tightened up toward me here, it's going this way. So I rotated this lower one all the way that direction. And this one also, then I tightened a nut. And that put them both in the same plane, so they're full travel. You also see how the distance between here and there looks pretty even. So that looks good. Okay, now this one here is loose, so you don't want to forget to do this. Tighten this one up. So we're going to tighten that one up next. It's a lot easier to do this on the bike than off the bike. Okay, this one here is a locking nut. This is just a lock nut, so you don't have to put a lock washer on it. This here we do the Loctite inside this bracket so it won't fall off. I'm going to take our Loctite. We're going to use red again. I like using red on brake stuff, so you know the damn stuff is in there. Now to lubricate the hinds, you just spray some cable lube or chain lube in there to lubricate them. It'll be fine. Okay, so this tightens up with this wrench here on this side. Put Harley torque on there, Tatro torque. Okay, now this side is strictly a jam nut. So we're going to put a little Loctite on that too. You don't really have to, but what the hell, we're in here. And we're going to use red again because we don't want it to fall off. So this is basically just cosmetic. It's tight. Now you want to make sure you put pressure on that. When you tighten this, it can unscrew it and make that loose. So you want to make sure when you tighten this nut up, it stays in there. Okay, see how everything still flexes? It's like it's supposed to. So make sure there's no binding, see? Everything's flopping all over the place like you want it to be. And nice and loose. Make sure you got clearance down here, which we still do. Now when the rocker goes up, it's going to get further away from that, not closer. So we should be alright on that angle. Now after you ride the bike a little bit, you look down there and make sure it's clearing. If it's not, you lengthen this a little bit and move it forward. You want to keep this as closest to you can and being straight, so when this goes up and down, this isn't losing a bunch of angle. So you don't want to have this thing way over here is what I'm saying. So as it works, you want to keep it more or less in straight planes. Everything's best when they're in 90-degree increments. So like I said, this could go up a little bit more if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep it in that spot there. I think they look dorky when they hang way forward, so I want to keep it back as far as I can for looks and still keep clearance. Okay, so we look pretty good on that. So now I got to get our caliper on here, make sure our caliper misalignment or offset's correct. I had to change on this. Everything else seems to have changed on us, so let's see what we got. So this is our caliper after we got the pads cut. It still fits on there nicely. Goes right in there. Looks like there's a washer needed, just like it did before. See how it's laying on here, and you can see how there's a gap here between here and here. I'm going to drop the caliper on the floor, I'm not careful. So, you can see how you got movement here. You got a little bit of a gap in there. So we want to get a washer in here that's going to hold that where we can use it. So, the camera back, let me see it. Alright. Okay, so let me look and see what I had for bolts and stuff before. I think we're using these stupid ass butthead Allen's I don't like. Well, that's probably what the customer likes, so. Okay, I got these thin washers here. I'm going to try these, see how they work. Let's get that one going. Damn it, everything over here pokes me. Don't have enough room to work. Tight clearances. See, I'm getting leg here, butt here. And if you go too far, you just hit this damn thing up here. Somebody put that down mill too close to the work area. That's the problem. Get the maintenance over here and move it. You know who the maintenance department is, don't you? That'd be the guy getting in the butt over here. Alright. Here's our other washer. So we're going to put this in here. Slip it in. Try to catch it with a bolt. Slide up until you hit the threaded hole. Okay, just finger tighten them. Looks pretty good. Notice how the caliper's moving side to side. That's a good sign. Okay, so just sitting there. You can see how the rotor's nice and clear. And then you move it, go ahead and move it side to side. So you can see how its pads are hitting, but not inside the rotor here. So that's good. Nice and free. Even got a little bit of twist to it. You can even twist the caliper slightly, see like this plane here. See, you got twist that way and you got side to side. So this whole mechanism kind of sucks. It lets everything's free float all over the place. So naturally all this stuff can rattle and make noise, so oh well. That's all you can do, it's how it's made. Okay, next thing you gotta do is make sure your bolt does not stick through too far. See how it's not too far? If one clears, they both should, but the same length bolt. But yeah, you can see it way down in there. It's clearing way down in there too. Okay, so it looks like this is all going to clear in there pretty nicely. Now, usually there's no kind of locking nuts or anything on these things here. You just put them on with Loctite and tighten them up. Now, I can't think of any reason why he needs to take this wheel on and off, but to get the wheel off, the caliper's probably going to have to come off. I don't know if he needs to have this off or not. So I don't want to tighten these bolts up for him in case he has to take the wheel off. Because I'd put these on with red Loctite, that's what I would recommend doing. But for this go around, I think we're going to leave it semi-loose. Let him figure it out. I am going to tighten them down a little bit, but I'm not going to Loctite them. This way, in case he doesn't do anything, it's tight. So those are tight. They're not Loctited, but they're tight. So he can still get these off, but they need to be Loctited if you're going to run them on the bike. So, okay, now we got everything else done now. We got that tight, that link is tight, all this stuff is tight, caliper's tight, caliper works, pads work, rotor's tight on hub, so all that's good. Now, how far off are we on our wheel arrangement now? So even though I'm gonna get a lot of complaint about moving the wheel this way for offset. If you look at my offset here, we're actually closer on this side than this side. See? See the difference? So even though we offsetted it, it's still more to the right than the left. So there you go. Now if you want to make this perfectly straight, you loosen up these spokes and tighten up the other side. And that will move the wheel over that way. That's what's nice about spoke wheels, you can move them over. Now in the real world, it doesn't have to be in center. Harley Softail Springers, they're 200th thou offset from the factory to give brake clearance over here. They're 200th thou off, and we're closer than 200. We're probably about an 1/8 of an inch off. But so they don't have to be perfectly straight. You're not going to notice the difference. There ain't no damn Harley ever going to notice the difference of that on. Maybe on a Jap bike that you're road racing it, and you actually know how to road race. You might feel something maybe. Even then, I doubt it. But, oh well. I had all this working before, so that should be good. Looks like this is not fully assembled because it's loose. We'll let him worry about all that junk. So now the only thing left right now is my axle. What are we going to do to keep the axle from coming off? Now this side over here, I bottomed out the nut on the axle and I put red or sleeve retainer Loctite on it. So that is locked solid. I'm not worried about that nut coming off. That's basically a one-piece axle at this point as far as that's concerned. Now on this side over here, we have a nut. Now, acorn nuts have very little thin area here for drag, so they actually don't stay tight very good. They like to fall off. Acorn nuts look nice, but they just fall off. Just like button head Allen bolts look nice, but you can't tighten them. So all this fancy hardware has trade-offs. That's why they went to a Torx set to get more torque. Okay, so right now, you thought I dropped that, didn't you? Let's see what we got here for threads. In case you don't know what size that is, it looks like 1 inch. Yep, both sides. Okay, so right now, taking this nut off. Okay, we got about that much thread. And see, there's no lock washer or anything on this thing. So I think what we need is a little bit of a lock washer on here. And it'd be nice to have some more thread on here, about that much more too, but you can see how deep that goes in. Now this side over here has a lot more thread in it because I bottomed out in it. It's fully threaded. But the problem is, if you put 2 lock washers on here and 2 nuts, you never know what the hell the damn axle's at. So even though this is not quite as many threads you like, in the real world you can tighten the piss out of this thing and it ain't going to come off. So, but I do like to see a lock washer on here of some type. So this is a 3/4 inch. And they didn't give us no kind of stupid lock washer of any kind. So we need to go find ourselves a 3/4 inch lock washer. Preferably chrome, because the customer likes chrome. That's always a very important thing for customers. Oh, it's getting late. It's only 11 o'clock. It's not quite tomorrow yet. Okay, where are we going to find lock washers that are 3/4 inch? How about the lock washer drawer? Let's see what size are these things. 3/4 inch. That's where you find one. Right, a 3/4 inch lock washer department. I'm going to take that whole pin with me. Okay, let's see. These things are huge. Look how thick those things are. These are not those cheap ass ones that come in the axle kits. These are full on ones. In this case, that's a bad thing because we don't have a lot of room. Okay, so okay, see how little we got now? Now we're down to a very bad amount of threads. Damn, look how thick that washer is. That's ridiculous. This is for holding a bridge together. Yeah, that's not very good. That's a little bit overkill. Alright, so we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do about that. Star washers aren't the best. They're a lot thinner, but I don't like those. The next option is to take this back apart. Just get some threads in here. You can go in there and peen the threads with a peener, prick punch. You prick all the damn threads on it, and you tighten up on the tight threads with sleeve retainer, and that will, the combination of the two will hold it tight. And then you have an actual real nut on this side that you have some room on it. So my guess is we're going to have to do something like that, because this is just a little bit too thin. And that lock washer is ridiculous. Jeez, that's 1/4 inch thick it looks like. That's way too much. I don't know what we're going to do for a lock washer. Alright, so we're going to have to figure out something there. Oh, I know what I can do for a lock washer. Let's go find one. Okay, I'm going to grab that. Yeah, so I know how big it is. Oh, damn, get my nailed me in the butt again. It ain't going to be a pretty lock washer, at least I don't think it will, but let's see if I find something that's 3/4. No, there's another big ass one. 3/4. Here's 3/4 lock washers are all pretty big. Those are not, I don't like those. Alright, well that struck out. Ah, that thing's terrible. Way too thick. Let's go into my miscellaneous junk pile here and see what we got here that I have something I can use. There's a lock washer right there. That's a lot better. Have to rob this nut kit to get it though. Yeah. Well, the part number slipped out there. Yeah. Looks like all I got's a kit. So you're gonna rob a kit to get one for the guy. Then I don't have a lock washer for this kit, which is piss off somebody else. Those things are still pretty thick though. Look at those things. Yeah, it's not that much difference in the real world. They're both pretty thick. Alright, yeah. I'm not liking that very much. But this is not going to fly. I think this nut will fall off. Now you could put this thing on with red Loctite and do it that way. So you don't really need to take your front wheel off very often. So I'm thinking that's going to be the option we're going to give them. I'll see what he wants to do. It's his option, it's his bike. So I'm thinking that we put red Loctite on it, just tighten the piss out of it, and that'll do what we need to do. I think that'll be the trick. Because I definitely do not like these boilerplate washers here. A little bit on the thick side. You'd think they'd have a better selection of washers to use. They make lock washers in different thicknesses. They got light ones and heavy ones. In this application, a light one would be just perfect. You're not lift tightening the axle down to 150 foot-pounds like a 3/4 bolt will go to. So don't need it. Okay, where is my wrench? Is that right here? So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back down. Okay. So let's see what we got here. It's heavy. Camera's in my way. Okay, let's see what happens when we drive this thing off the ramp. Okay, drive. It almost moved. I felt the fork actually kind of move. Just for a split second. So there's what it looks like in the real world. So not too bad. Springs are pretty stiff, so it's not going to move very easy. It rolls real nice now too, unlike before. It didn't roll very good. So that's a little bit different. So anyway, that's what she looks like on the bike here. It'll look like that. That's about the rake you're on the bike at. So anyway, that's what it looks like. So it's all done. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. You can see what it looks like from the on the bike type view. So it looks pretty good. So it gives you a nice good brake. It's all set up good. Yep, the link looks straight here, which is nice. Now I get a good view of it. So couldn't see it before. And like I said, our hubcap clearance right here is pretty tight, but it's got clearance, so that's all that matters. And the offset in the front wheel is not real noticeable. A little bit, but not too bad. Looks pretty good. Alright, that's it for this project.